Hi, everybody. Am I live? Can you hear me? Can you see me now? Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Awesome, awesome. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming to my maiden voyage. Let's see if we can keep this boat afloat. I'm not very good at treading water, and there's a big storm coming besides. Been out in the rain a couple times already, but I like my curly hair. I don't have to do much with it when it rains. Call them dreadlocks because I dread combing them. So today I just wanted to come on, talk about last night's energies with the big earthquake in the Ring of Fire that was felt around the world. Wondering how y'all slept, because this woman couldn't. And when like I'm the third person here, when I finally did fall asleep, it was after 4 o'clock in the morning. And then I woke up every hour on the hour and had to hit the ground running this morning. Dogs to the groomer, chiropractor day. And I've started getting massages. So any of you, if you have a chiropractor that you see on a regular basis, if you've never hooked up a massage right after your chiropractor visit, give it a try. My gosh, what a difference. What a difference. And I also want to thank everybody, because I know that you're always thinking about me and my issues with what's going on with the sun and how it creates havoc with my bloodstream, blah, blah, blah. And because of you, I have all the confidence that I'm going to get to the other side of this, because it started happening last week, Friday. So did anybody else? Hi, Paul White Dragon. How you doing? Anybody else feel like they were on a mission during the night? It was even when I was just, in that meditative state where you're maybe going to get into a lucid dream, I could feel like I was running to grab something quick out of somebody's hand to help them get to higher ground. Although my understanding right now is that the tsunami could have been ever so much worse, but people were scrambling to get to higher ground. I knew that last night. And then I could see a volcano blowing above ground. And when I woke up this morning for the day, there was news that the volcano in Russia that was very close to that Kamchatka place in the water, where that went crazy with the volcano exploding, exploding, that volcano had begun to erupt. I don't know what its status is at this point, but lots of prayers going out there for people, that they heed the warnings and that everyone is protected for sure. So one of the things that I wanted to do today was just go over what 9-day is about. Because if you were raised Catholic, we do novenas. And I love the word novena. It comes from the Latin novum, which is the number 9. And in that, it is set aside a day of ritual, a day of prayer. But the Catholic Church isn't the only one that has done this. So I went and made sure that I knew what I was talking about, right? So there's a 9-day after birth ritual in the Hindu religion. It's called Navratri. It's hard to say. It's Sanskrit, Navratri. And it's 9 days of a birth celebration right from the birth on. And then there is a 9-day that begins like right now. It's not Rosh Hashanah, it is Rosh Chodesh. And it begins at the end of July. Hello. I didn't look up to see what the dates of it were for this year, but it goes 9 days and it takes you into August. And then it's both of those are, commemoration and observance. And that's what that 9 days is for. And so when we assimilate the number 9, what do we think of? We had that 9 is an ending. But what happens after the ending? There's room for the new beginning, right? And we go to the digit 10, which reduces to 1, which is starting over. And then there's also in the Jewish faith is 9 nights of awake. So I guess it would also be called sitting Shiva. But to me, that begins from the moment you hear the death rattle, because the person is actually gone and the soul may have already left. And so that is how I feel about it personally. Let me see what's going on in the chat a little bit. You couldn't sleep? Yeah, you're in California, Michelle? We had small earthquakes. Oh, I bet. My son hasn't checked in yet, but he's in LA. Well, the tsunami warning was all the way down into San Diego. Paul, didn't you say earlier that Dr. Gale had said we were all busy working last night? We definitely were. So, though the Catholic Church celebrates it according to the liturgical calendar, it's still 9 days set aside. But you can make a novena at any time, whether you're planning it to a saint. And I just happen to like that word because I grew up when Mass was said in Latin. And I missed it so much when they switched into speaking in English. It was like, I know what this stuff is. I don't want to hear it in that. I want to hear the Latin. Anyway, so it's always set around special feasts or to your patron saint or, Christmas, Samhain. But that also brings us to the pagan celebrations, because the pagan celebration also has 9 days of awake. And then for witches, we use a 9-day ritual for a money draw. But it's not the only way. So when you pick your times to do this, even on your own, then, you want to kind of think about it, right? So I have value for the practice of ritual. And I'm sure you've heard me say it before. You get up in the morning and you go brush your teeth after you have your coffee. All of these are rituals. And so if you practice your hygiene that way, why wouldn't you practice your spiritual connection? It doesn't have to be to a God. It can be to an energy. It can be to a gnome that you happen to have a relationship, to an elemental, to whatever higher source you put value on. And it is trying to keep that trust, trying to keep that faith involved from beginning to end, the number 9. So, I like to make up poetry and sing songs, and incantations is mostly what I call it. But there is an old prayer that comes out of World War II. And it is by a fellow by the name of James Dennett Freeman. And it goes like this: we are the light is within us, the light surrounds us, and the light protects us. We are the light. And that is still pretty appropriate for where we stand right now in this energy. worldwide, not just what's going on here, but how we have to protect each other. So my intention for these next 9 days coming up, and I hope you join me in this, is to reunite the divine masculine and the divine feminine. This is our way to bringing back the light. So I've added my own incantation to this. We are the light is within us, the light surrounds us, the light protects us. We are the light. Where there is fear, let us place light. Where there is loneliness, let us place light. Where there is hunger, let us place light. Where there is emptiness, let us place light. Where there is anger, let us place light. Where there is discomfort, let us place light. Where a child has been lost, let us place light. We are the divine. We are the divine light of both masculine and feminine. And again, the light is within us. The light surrounds us. The light protects us. We are the light. So when you do this, of course, we need candles, right? There's so many different kinds out there. So the easiest one to go to is get yourself good old tea lights. Use one a day, let it burn completely. It lasts for 2 hours or so. Or 1 the first day, 2 the second day, 3 the third day, as Nancy Jean used to do going around her circle. Or set it up like that with receptacles. I like to use these candles. They come from the dollar store. The aroma is fabulous. They're coconut oil. And oh my gosh, there was another whoop, whoop, whoop for an earthquake somewhere. And the aroma is very nice. Doesn't bother my bird, doesn't bother my dogs. And this lasts about 13, 15 hours, maybe even more than that. And so you can just burn one of these for a couple of hours every day and certainly have enough to get you to the 9th day. And then on the 9th day, let it burn out. But there are other candles that I like to use. And perhaps you've seen the 9 candles that I did last winter. I use these little skinny witch candles, right? And they're beeswax. And so when you warm them up with your hand, it makes it very easy to then roll it on a board or paper or something that has been sprinkled with herbs from your garden, from your kitchen cupboards, things like sage, thyme, rosemary. The things we eat are also good things to dress a candle with in order to enhance and add an extra incense to the air, an extra smoke to the air, which in all practices, that smoke rising is your intention. And allowing the candle to go out is like when you drop a coin in a wishing well, you have to walk away. So when the candle goes out, that's the moment to walk away and let the intention do its work out there in the universe. You've already done that. But I feel like I'm speaking to the choir because everybody already knows these things, right? But the kind of candle you use doesn't really matter. And that's the truth. You can use good old dinner candles, what these are usually called, right? But this candle is tricky. You can get these on good old Amazon, and the wick is coiled around in the wax. So you get a good drippy candle. And there enough come in a box to do 9 days with some left over. And they burn for about a half an hour, 45 minutes. It just depends on what kind of receptacle you put them in. And then, of course, you can get vigil lights. And another thing you can do is just get a 5-day candle and snuff it out so that it isn't burning continuously. And one of those would work. Now, I keep lanterns on my porch and put those 5-day candles inside the lanterns. And when we're getting towards a moon or getting towards a special occasion or season of the witch, whatever, I light the candle and keep it going. And when it burns out, then I just put in another one, like through the holidays and stuff like that. So you can do things of that. And because I use 2 of them, this is perfect for this, to have divine masculine and divine feminine, one in each lantern. So, and all of these things you can find inexpensively at the dollar store. Well, maybe now it's the $1.50 store. But you know what I mean. How are we doing in the chat? I'm trying to learn how to read the chat too. Thank you, Alice. Thank you, Alice. Oh, I need new glasses. I am squinting today. Yes, we are your chair and you are the leader. Thank you. Oh my goodness. So what are some good herbs for the sun? Since Leo is ruled by the planet, well, it's not a planet, the luminary, the sun. There's a whole list of them. And a lot of them you'll probably find right in your cupboard, or even consider dressing a candle with oil, such as almond oil. That's a good thing for the sun. Angelica, bay leaves, write a message on there, set that in the side. When I use these, I have bay leaves with a message, and then as the candle burns down, sometimes they get wax dripped on them. When I go through the 9 days, then I read the wax. When I'm completely finished with the whole thing, which is to burn the leaves and everything on the 9th day, I keep the paper with the wax and I take it to the lake. It's all biodegradable without any chemicals in it. And I dump it in. The fish will eat the wax. It's not going to hurt them. It's beeswax. It's not going to hurt them. So it's better than the plastic bottles that I see floating in there sometimes. So back to that, bay laurel bergamot, which is an orangey aroma. You have it in your tea. Consider opening a tea bag and dressing your candle with that. Century, I don't know what that is. Anybody ever hear of centaury? It's CEMTAURY. And chia seeds, believe it or not. Hooray. Cinnamon, which we all know, blow it in the door, because when we get to the end of this 8/8, Valerie is going to join me on that night. A few hours later, right after, I shouldn't say that. I don't know exactly what time it happens, but the full moon is right after that. So even on 8/8, it's going to appear to be full. How perfect, right? Let's see, what else do we have? Eyebright, frankincense, guarana, not guana. Juniper, love that fragrance. Life everlasting, don't know what that is myself. Marigold, mistletoe. That's fascinating because that is death and rebirth. And mistletoe is being used in cancer treatments with success. And myrrh, moringa, sounds like a dance. Must be something spicy. Milky oats, peony, rice, rue, rhodelia, rosemary, St. John's wort, sunflower, turmeric, and walnut. And crushed walnut shells, if you can get them crushed up fine, They burn really nice on a candle. And get yourself, I should have brought one, the little charcoal cubes, circles or cubes, whichever. That helps your sensor to burn the things, and it'll stay warm if you want to add a little bit more. Or just burn out if there's nothing on top of it. And always you have to be careful with smoke. Too much of it, especially when it's something heavy like white sage, that can give you a sinus infection. And I've done it, especially in the middle of winter. I've done it. Didn't want to open the windows, right? So you can go to your kitchen cupboard and get a lot of those things. Maybe even your home apothecary or facial stuff for almond oil and things of that nature. What is the objective of purpose of the ritual? It is to bring together, to reunite, not to bring together, because we all have it within us. This is another thing. Okay, we'll get there. Slow down. To reunite the divine masculine and divine feminine. How did we get to this place? We all know what's in the news. We all know it's been going on for 26,000 years. How did we get to this place? I mean, we can talk about the breaking of Lyra, the prism of Lyra, and all of that. But there was a time where there wasn't such a division. I'm not talking about difference. I'm talking about division. And those of you who grew up in the 50s like me, it's kind of funny how a girl was never deterred from playing with a truck or a car, but a boy couldn't play with a doll. So how great was it when they finally came out with, action figures for guys, so that nobody felt like this stigmata that was being put on us that didn't even apply. That's silly. These are kids playing. So it is to spend 9 days thinking about what tools do I already have that can help to do that? What should I say to myself? How do I talk to myself that keeps this separation when we don't even know it, right? I mean, if you've ever been a victim of a violent crime, sexual abuse, you know what it does to you. You know how long it takes to get past it. Do you ever really get over it? No. It's one of those things like grief. You kind of get used to it. You wrap it in some tissue and you put it in your box of tools. And every time you have to go through your shadow work, it has a way of making noise all on its own and comes back to the surface. Yep, G.I. Joe. And then Thundercats, 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 ho. And I don't know what happened, but I'm so bummed out because Lynx was my favorite. And he fell off the shelf, or the dog got him and ate him. So now his leg is, well, there he is. And you can't fix these guys. Oh, well, shucks. Anyway, what do we have here? I wasn't into dolls, but I was an only child and a tomboy. That happens a lot. And there's nothing. Oh, I was too. When we play soldier, because I'm, right after World War II, I'm a baby boomer, no doubt about it. My brothers made me be the nurse, and I didn't want to be the nurse. I wanted to be out there running with them, because in my heart, I'm Joan of Arc. I don't know that I was her in the past life, but she was my patron saint all through Catholic school. I dressed as her for the Catholic school Halloween parties in grade school. And so let me brandish that sword. I must have also, been Scandinavian, Viking, where women went to battle with their husbands. So where did the separation come? Because, we think about it, the divine masculine and the divine feminine, we both did the same jobs. And nobody really cared about what clothes looked like. You wore each other's clothes if you needed them, Skirts are for boys only. I mean, girls only. Not if you go to China, So I don't know. How did this all happen? So this is a lot of us that we need to think about, all of us, and try to get to the heart of this. Not that we're going to heal that heart, but try to, because so many generations have come between us and that original wound. Not sin, wound. So how did this happen? How do we fix it? And it goes back so far. Where are the Dracs in all of this, right, Paul? Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Michelle. Or Scotland. Yeah, Scotland. I know that I've had a past life back there. So those were some of the things that I wanted to go over. And we have guests every single night. I've already posted the schedule and the links in my live on my channel. In the live section, you'll see who's all going to be there. So it's great that Nancy Jean's going to be number one to help me break open the seal on the vault, if you will. And there was something else I was going to say, but my eye just caught these cards. And I pulled them earlier, but the story is so perfect for what is going on in us. Alice, this is the deck you had sent me. I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah, all of this. Anyways, it starts with coming back from the underworld. Right? I have to turn it around. It's backwards when I look at it. Return from the underworld, engage life. That's a good beginning. That is a good beginning. We're bringing both together. Without us, we don't have life. In order to procreate, we have to have one and the other. And then the next card that came out was find middle ground and compromise. Well, this is so perfect, not just for the reuniting, because look at how many people are in denial and trying to take us backwards to the golden age, if you will. But it's also, where we are in the political scene, in every country. It's not just here, but everybody's got their troubles with that. And the next card I got was have hope for the future. New energies are coming in. Boy, the shakeup of the world last night, the earthquake that was felt everywhere. And how perfect is that? We had the little baby. And this mountain. The next is, so in that card of compromise, we saw the divine masculine. And this card is love with an open heart. This is the divine feminine. The next card, just because it's like there's a whole story, right? You got to keep going sometimes. Bring peace to troubled waters. That pretty much describes today with all the aftershocks that are going on. I just felt one just as we were coming on. And then finally, the card is find and hold your power. So it's not it's not just giving in. Compromise is not about giving in. Compromise is two people. It's the North and South Pole. It's the North and South node in your own chart. Are you going to fight yourself the whole time? It's only you're fighting. And everybody's got that in our charts. Yeah, they're beautiful cards for sure. For sure. So what else did I want to bring up very quickly before we've been at this a half an hour and you've helped me a lot because the jitters are gone. I'll feel better tomorrow when Nancy Jean comes in. And hi, Rossi. I hope you're allergic to candles. Well, Bora Bora, just, the electric candles are there. Intention is just as important. Yeah, Alice, I love them. I really do. Intention is just as important. And we all have reasons why we can't. A lot of birds have issues with things. I'm lucky. My bird does not. My dogs do not. So adjust for your time zone. Adjust for what your needs are, because it is about intention. And those little electric candles are great. You can get a package of 12 of those with those little lithium button batteries in there. You can replace the battery. I mean, and they go on forever. I left one on, I don't know, 4 days before it went burnt out. So anyways, yes, Michelle, we do. We have male and female in us. And how many times do we battle our own selves, right? And when I think about clothing, I have to, I'm going to have Linda De Gonzalez on August 2nd. And I think, don't quote me today. Let me see. Oh, I got the list right here. Yes, on the 2nd, she's coming on. We're going to talk about women's handiwork, and how each stitch can be an ohm. And it wasn't only for women. Men wore it too. Think about the Dutch masters and the cigars and Rembrandt and how he painted and what they wore and the poet shirt. I think of Jerry Seinfeld all the time when I think of the poet shirt. But that was also their nightshirt. They take off their trousers and sleep in it, get up the next day and dress up in it. And it was their shirt, depending on how much wealth you had. But, when a woman is pregnant, it's hard for her to go out and till the field, but she's got to make stuff. Everybody made their own clothes. So you trade jobs off, and nobody slighted anybody for anything. And men wore the same thing. Nobody cared. If I need it, I wear it. It fits. So anyway, I hope I got my foot in the door, toes wet, and things will go smoothly from here on. And thank you all for coming and keeping me company through this. I'm going to sign off for now. Thank you. The light is within us. We are the light. Bye-bye.